All right, welcome back again, guys. So this time I have a very passionate and very handsome, smart guy, Tom, and he is here. And welcome, Tom. How are you today?
Doing well, Dharam. Thank you. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah, great stuff. So look, Tom, you have been a great student for me, and you did really well doing PgMP. And now you accepted my invite to talk about this very important topic. So thank you.
Yeah. No, appreciate it, and appreciate all you did to help me get through the long challenge. And it was a challenge.
Look, PgMP and PfMP are something, it's a challenge. Journey is challenging, but the rewards are huge. You'll feel fulfilled and satisfied. So that's what I see. A lot of people once complete the PgMP or PfMP, there's a lot of relief as well as excitement, and future opens up for them.
Indeed.
All right, welcome again, and welcome all of you guys. So it is a pleasure to have you once again, and it's going for many months now, actually many years now. I'm inviting my guest speaker, happen to the industry leaders coming with lots of project program portfolio manager experiences, and they come and share their knowledge, experience. And guys, you have opportunity to ask questions. So this is your time to ask questions. So whenever you feel like, whenever is the right time, please put your question on the question pad. I will read the question when the right time comes. Okay. And the good news is I have one PDU to give away today. So if you are watching today live, I will share the link with you a little later in the chat. So keep an eye on the chat as well. And the people watching as a recording, once you watch, may send me an email that Dharam, I watched this video, and you have to talk about how good Tom was in this presentation and what did you learn from this. And the purpose is not to give away PDUs, more about to get you knowledge and skills, and you continue to develop yourself as a project program professional, portfolio manager professional. All right. And a little bit on the homework. I have shared a few links with you guys on the chat. If you have not seen, please look at the chat. Maybe I can share it again. And so these links will help you to learn about PgMP, PfMP, and there is one program coming up. Actually, this is a series of webinars I'm going to do. I think these are eight of them over 8 months, and I'm going to talk about what you have to do to pass or prepare for your PgMP or PfMP. If you are in this space, you are learning, planning to learn about PgMP, PfMP, so these 3 links can help you very much. The first 2 links where I've recorded how to and what to do, and then the link I've shared with you, the 3rd link I have given you about how to register for this upcoming program on 9th June. The first session is on 9th June. And then the fourth link I've given you a link for VUCA offers and discount. If you are interested and if you're part of some of the chapters, you will be able to save some money on some of the programs. So have a look all these links. Take a copy of them. All right. So that's enough for housekeeping part. So just to talk about Tom. Tom is a strategic leader with more than 34 years experience in, I think, military, defense, commercial space, and you have worked in many industries facing and overcoming challenges ranging from current or the crisis operations in contingency and strategic planning, experience with air and space operations, as well as engineering and manufacturing. So lots of experience, and he has an international experience. I think you worked in many organizations, many countries.
Indeed.
European, Middle East, Indo-Pacific. I don't know what else you have done.
I haven't been to Africa. I haven't been to Antarctica. I think that about covers it. But I've been pretty much somewhere on all the other continents. So South America. Haven't been to South America. So
great. And when you're waking up and during those days, did you know where you're waking up? Which country you are in? Which city you are in?
Sometimes. There were some times I'm like, where am I at again? And what time is it?
Yeah, but, my problem is when I'm driving, where should I drive? The left or right? Am I in Australia?
It always helps. It always helps me when I'm in a rental car because it's local. I was stationed in England with an American car, and so your steering wheel is on the left side of the car, and you're in the left lane.
Yeah.
And it makes for some very interesting moments on the road if you're trying to pass somebody, and then when you come back stateside, you do the same thing, and you're like, wait a minute, I'm supposed to be in the right lane on the left side of the car.
Exactly. Look, happened to me, and I'm on a roundabout. Should I take left or right?
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's the fun of living in international world. Anyway, so once again, thanks, Tom. And I think that you currently doing something exciting for NASA. Is that correct? Supporting NASA. You're supporting something for the NASA at the moment? Your company is supporting NASA?
So the company I'm with is Redwire Space. So just to do the legal thing, anything I say is my own opinion, et cetera, et cetera. I'm not going to share anything that's inside knowledge or anything like that, but I will share my opinion with everyone, and that's what it is. It's just my opinion. It's not financial, any advice, any of that kind of stuff. So, so Redwire Space has a variety of contracts with commercial, government, civil, as well as government defense type contracts. We have offices in Europe, as well as several locations here in the US. And I'm located with the Albuquerque, New Mexico office. And we do a lot of work here for all of the above. So
great. And you passed your PgMP exam on 9th February 2023.
Correct.
How was your experience?
Miserable. It was about 1.5 years long process. And Dharam, again, many thanks to you for helping work through that, especially at the very end. I thought it was going to be a simple-ish thing, just look at the book, go in, take the test, and good to go. Failed the first one. Like, all right, let me go back, restudy. Failed the second one. And then realized I need to do something more. And then Dharam was able to work some extensions and exceptions to get me the test in February, and truly appreciate all of that and the time that we spent together over a period of a couple of months, helping me get the PMI way of doing things and understanding that I had lots of experience doing the job, but not necessarily doing it the PMI way. And that was a piece that was definitely helpful. So.
Yeah, thank you, Tom, for sharing your experience before coming to me versus what I did. I don't take all the credit, but you were ready. It's not about I give you everything. It's more about my job is to streamline your thinking and take you and bring your focus towards the goal and get it done. That's what my role is. And just like you, many people do try the exam. Let's say the book is very small, 150-page book.
Yeah, and, it's an easy read.
Yeah, we feel that, hey, I'm a program manager, and this 150-page book, I will do some questions, and I will be fine. So believe it or not, last year I got 29 people coming to me who have tried at least this exam at least once. And you I don't want to say what they tried 3 times, but I got one person coming to me after 5 attempts. And I'm very proud to say that all the 29 have passed exam within 4 to 6 weeks of working with me. And all of them gone through the journey, and they got above target results. Not just passed the exam with above target results. So I'm very, very happy to say that. So
yeah, it was fantastic. The mentorship you provided was was really, really helpful.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. And I'm very grateful to the people who trusted me, and you trusted me in the journey, and I was able to contribute. So thank you. All right. Okay, so that's out. So guys, I have a number of questions for Tom, and Tom has been preparing for these questions, and we got a lined up very nice questions for you. I hope we're going to contribute to your learning. And if you feel at any time that you need to talk to or ask questions, you want me to ask questions to Tom, please put them into the question pad. All right, so Tom, I have questions for you, and very interesting questions. So today's topic we have is strategy, operations, and organization effectiveness. So now and in future, we have to worry about now, and we have to build ourselves for the future. All right. So what are the strategic execution challenges today's business environment? So in today's business environment, what are the challenges you see?
Right. So I think a lot of companies, a lot of industries are very good at their core business. Startups are maybe struggling a little bit more because they're still trying to define where they're going, what they want. They have an idea in mind. And the larger companies tend to cover a lot broader area. But as with all businesses, I think one of the key things is identifying the growth areas and the opportunities to do what you're doing better or different. And I think that is a huge challenge where program managers, PgMP professionals, et cetera, can really help companies work through that. Because that's part of the training, that's part of what we do is, we're interfacing with customers, we're working with stakeholders, internal and external to the company, to work through what are the needs, what are the desires, and putting those business cases together and fleshing that out in a way to help move the organization forward. I think another part of that, another part of the challenge is the employee growth. Getting employees the training, the help to foster that growth, to identify those opportunities. And a lot of challenges come in. A lot of program managers, project managers start out as normally start out as a technical person of some sort, and they kind of start working through. And it's beneficial for companies, I believe, to help those individuals learn that next level, understanding scope, understanding deliverables, understanding cost, and billable versus against a contract value and ceiling. I think those are the challenges, is bringing those growth areas and opportunities together and helping your internal growth, external growth of employees so that they can help meet those challenges. I think that is one of the key strategy execution challenges I see in the business environment.
So do you think today's project program managers understand the organization strategy as they should be?
I think a lot of that is going to come down to the organization. Some organizations that I've been in are very clear, very thorough in what is their strategy, where are they going, what do they want to do. Others are, well, we want to get, we want $1 million in revenue in the next 6 months. And that's helpful, but is it really a strategy? Is it really, how are you going to go about doing that? And I think that's where the project managers and program managers can help, but they've also got to be included. And that's, some of that is a little bit of talking, project program managers talking with the corporate management and their leadership of, hey, I see this. I think we might be able to do that type of a conversation. Sometimes those managers are going to listen, sometimes they're not. But I think it's important for project and program managers to not give up. Don't be obnoxious about it, but just keep working. That drip, drip, drip really does. It really does achieve things over time, and project program managers take the long view on that, and I think accomplish a lot.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, there's another challenge is most project managers actually became project manager by accident. They were not ready, they were not prepared, they were not targeting for that. But because somebody left the organization or the organization said, hey, it's a good idea, you're a great developer or a tester, why did you take the project management? And yeah, so
right.
Exactly. And that's where guys, whoever is in this position as a project program portfolio manager, spend time to understand the organization strategies and see how your project program is aligned with the organization strategy. If not, see why it's not aligned. Maybe you're not doing the right, maybe your work is not required at the moment because it's not in the strategy. So yeah, please do that.
Right, and that's part of the whole PgMP certification is working through identifying those gaps in strategy and turning that into execution. And sometimes it just takes time. You got to present the business case, do that workup so that leadership understands where maybe they have some opportunities for the future.
Great stuff. And yeah, definitely. PgMP and PfMP talks about strategy execution, alignment, very, very important. Thank you. All right. Thank you for the question. I got a question here. What is mean by out of box and or custom design project implementation? And let me finish the question first.
Okay.
And what are all prerequisite needs to be followed in such case? Is it something we should not follow PMI strategies and blindly listen only the words stakeholders? You want me to repeat it? Okay, let me repeat
it. Let's it's a good question. And it gets to a lot of what I think project and program managers deal with. So I think out of the box, so in the project PMP, PgMP world, we have a lot of standards. We have a lot, practical guides. We have templates. All of those are useful. All of those are helpful. And there's a lot out in the PMI library. There's a lot available in so many different places. I think those are helpful, especially if you're trying to do something new and you're like, I don't really know where to start. And it's great to go out and find those things and you go, ooh, I like this. And you pick a little bit off of this one, you go over here and you pull something out of here and you pull a few of those together. And you do customize it. Some organizations have their standard cut and dry, this is how we're going to do it. And that works too. And always there's a little bit of room to make it work for your job, your personality, your organization. Out of the box, there is a wealth of history with PMI on PgMP, PfMP, PMP, all of the certifications, right? And you can go create something new that hasn't existed before. One of the dangers you run into when you do that is you're probably going to miss something. I'm not saying that everything that's out there in the standard is an exact cookie cutter fit, and not everything is going to meet your unique situation. But I think if we don't look at that library, if we don't look at that background and history to figure out what we're missing and at least get a good start, we're probably missing something. There's no cookie cutters. That's part of why why project and program managers and portfolio managers are leaders. Not every, if it was a simple decision, if it were simple to do, they wouldn't need you. And that is something that, 23 years in the Air Force, one of the sayings is the higher up in rank you go, the harder the decisions get. And so people complain about that. Well, I just want the easy decisions. Well, if it were easy, it was probably handled at someone below you.
Yeah, exactly.
And the higher up you go, the more difficult the decisions, the more uncertainty that you have to deal with. And so that's where that out-of-box, customization comes in, because it's like, all right, this doesn't fit. We got to come up with something else.
Exactly. All right.
I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, please let us know if you have further question clarification.
Okay, I think we did miss one part about blindly following. What we're told. Again, PMI has a great wealth of knowledge and background. It's not exact, and stakeholders don't know what you do. Some do, some are, have been there, done that. And a lot of that some personalities, whether they're project program managers or portfolio managers, they just have a strong personality and they want it their way. And you just got to work with that and help them understand how you can help them achieve their goals.
Yeah. I mean, one thing is it something we should or should not follow PMI strategy blindly? It's like, you cannot just, as you correctly mentioned, there are so many standards PMI created. They've done a really good job at creating those best practices. Whether those best practices applicable to your kind of project, program, portfolio, you need to analyze it. Not everything what mentioned in the books is applicable as it is. Some of them maybe. So that's why you need to understand what PMI is saying, what your needs are, and find the gaps. Maybe you are doing already, maybe you're doing too much or too less. So whatever, I think you need to spend some time, understand the sponsor's requirement, understand the PMO's expectation and the program's requirement or project requirement, and accordingly you tailor your processes and other strategies like that.
Yeah, okay. I totally agree.
Perfect. All right, thank you for the question, and thank you, Tom, for answering it very nicely. Okay. Yeah. So my next question is, what separates an organization with successful transformation from the rest?
Based on my experience, yes, and my opinion, yes, I think a lot of it comes down to delegation of authority. A lot of times, organizations, people have this tendency to say, you are responsible. You are accountable. What's not said is, here's the authority to go do it. So I'm going to hold you accountable, but I'm making all the decisions. And all of a sudden you have a disparity of, the person who's responsible and doing the job doesn't have the authority to execute it. And so when things don't happen, it's like, well, it's your fault. You didn't do this. It's like, boss, I talked to you. And I've seen that happen in a lot of different places. And one of the things, one of my early military leaders told me, and it's kind of stuck with me, obviously for 30 some years, and that is, you can delegate authority, but you can never delegate responsibility. And that gets at, I think the key here is, in order to be successful in anything, whether it's a transformation, whether it's delivering a product or a deliverable, whatever it may be, the person who's doing the job needs the authority to do that job, because their boss is going to hold them accountable for, did you deliver or not? But if they don't have the authority to do it, you haven't not set them up for success. So I always look at, how are we delegating the authority are we delegating authority to the right people to get the job done? And are they using that authority effectively? And maybe they delegate, some of that authority down to, their team members, maybe they, select member, whatever. But I think that really is the key to success, is making sure that the person who's doing the job, leading the project, leading the program, portfolio, make sure that they have a good, solid understanding of what they're being asked to do, and then give them the authority to go do it. And that sets everybody up for success.
Exactly. Yes. So authority, and create the right environment, have the resources available, funding allocation. That's what that's separate. Clarity, and one other thing you mentioned, the clarity of the roles and responsibilities is very, very important. Yeah.
It is, and I think one of the keys here is we talk about resources and effective use, and maybe you need to go buy equipment to support the job or something, right? And if you don't have the right people, you don't have the right equipment, but you haven't given the person the authority to go make that purchase, that means they got to come back to you for something, which maybe there are reasons for that, but it also means that if you say no and they don't deliver, where's that responsibility lie? It starts getting into gray areas, and you can't give everybody a blank check, go hire 100 people to do this job. So I'm not advocating for that either, and I'm not advocating for buying loads and loads of stuff. It's making sure, that's where it comes back to making sure they understand what the purchase, what the job is, what is the desired end state, and working towards that.
Yeah, perfect. Nicely present. Nicely talked about. Thank you very much. Okay, why do organization leader need to worry about economic uncertainty directly affecting the operations, workforce gap, and supply chain drivers?
You don't have any simple questions here, do you, Dharam?
I want to test you out.
I feel like I'm going through my PgMP exam again.
I know.
Well, I think the economic uncertainty right now, it has a direct impact on the financial, the cash flow financials, and strength of the company. Right now, there's a lot of uncertainty with the American economy and the world economy to some extent. And that forces companies to rethink and reevaluate what they want to do, how they're going to do things. We've seen a lot of things in the news about Facebook and Twitter and several big name companies that have decided we grew too much and we need to cut back on our workforce. And that, I think, is a direct reflection on the economic uncertainty of what's going on. It drives problems with the workforce, supply chain. As an aerospace company, we make a lot of things and we buy a lot of stuff, and we send, widgets and such out to various manufacturers to custom make something for us. And trying to, it's taking longer. It's taking, it's costing more. Those are all drivers in what's going on, and trying to balance that as we go forward, I think is, a real challenge right now. You have current jobs. We have, the group where I'm at, we have 30-ish employees on site, and then Redwire itself has 600 or so, I think, across the whole organization. It might be 700 or 800 now. But how do you balance? Right now, I need 40 people. The jobs are only going to last 6 months, but I only have 20. How am I going to get 40 people's worth of work done with only 20 people? How am I going to, do I hire, an additional 5 people or 10 people? And what's going to happen in 6 months? Am I going to have more work for them? I think all of that uncertainty right now is driving a lot of decisions in a lot of companies, in all industries. It's not just aerospace. It's not just IT. I mean, it's everywhere. There's a lot of just what's going to happen, and folks are waiting kind of with bated breath to see. And there are going to be companies that make big, bold decisions, and big, bold decisions will either result in great, amazing success or great, amazing failures. And we won't know until we're through this. And I don't have that crystal ball to say what those right decisions are. So.
Exactly. So, you can make a decision based on what you see at the moment, look at the trend. I mean, trend analysis is also helpful. The cost of goods is going up, cost of hiring is going up, and lots of uncertainty, financial uncertainties are there. So yes, we need to consider all those things.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We have to think about just in time is good enough, because it was availability of resources like that. But now we have to stockpile a lot of things, which, sometimes it was crazy, but now it's required, because, if you buy now, you save 50% of the cost if you want to buy them in 6 months' time.
Right. I think, personal opinion, I think there's a need for a certain amount of inventory. I'm not saying that you need warehouses and warehouses full, but I think with the we're coming out of the COVID pandemic, and so many retail stores, so many suppliers, so many companies were like, oh, I'll just go order this. I'll just go order this. And we're accustomed to next day I get it in my mailbox. We're not there anymore. That's not the world we live in. And we have to be, I think, strategic in what are the right things that we need to hold so that we have them when needed, versus, all right, maybe I can get them the next day. Maybe it's going to be 6 months. I've seen things that, oh, well, it's a 10 weeks to get this thing of aluminum made. And you reach out and you're like, okay, so we told the customer we're going to deliver it in 10 weeks or 15 weeks, because a little bit of work up front, a little bit of work at the end. So 15 weeks, let's say. And you reach out to a manufacturer and they say, well, it's going to take me 8 weeks to get the materials in. And then it's going to take me 6 weeks to get it made and polished and finished and everything. And so it's now 15 weeks before I can get it from the time I place the order. And if I took, 2-3 weeks up front, I sent it out. Now I'm at 18, 20, 26 weeks before I deliver it to the customer. And they're like, you told me you're going to have this to me in 3 months. And now it's 6 months later. This is no good to me. So how do we find that right balance of having material on hand to deliver to an end customer to meet their need? And that's, I don't think just in time is the right answer, but warehouses full of stuff like we had 30 some years ago isn't the answer either. It's somewhere in between.
Yeah, I mean, that's where, as a project program manager, you have to do a lot of studies. You need to understand the risk involved, or just in time, not enough time, and 6 months wait. Can we really wait? Sometimes customers, okay, I'm okay with the delay, but I don't want to pay you more. So that's fine. Right. So as a project manager, program manager, yes, you do thorough analysis, looking at the current trend in the market, looking at the environmental factors, looking at the economic conditions we are in, and accordingly you be ready for the next stage, and because at the end of the day you are delivering the work. You cannot go back to a customer. 3 months can be 4 months, but you cannot go, hey, I will not be available, or work will not be available for 8 months. Wow, no way.
Yeah, we recently had an incident with one of our suppliers. We had something that was going to go up on a rocket launch, and we reached out to a supplier and said, "Here's the deadline, here's the timeline, and all is well and good." And it was supposed to be delivered on, I'm going to say Tuesday. And on Wednesday, I reached out. I'm like, "Hey, what's the tracking number on this?" "Oh, well, we haven't shipped it yet, but it's going out tomorrow." Okay, great. Thursday morning now, I get a phone call, and they're like, "Yep, it's got to, before it gets to you, we've got another week before it gets to you." And I'm like, "This needs to be at the launch site on Monday. I can't wait till Friday of next week. This is not acceptable." And so trying to work through that, and we worked with the supplier, we worked with the customer on how there are certain steps that need to happen in everybody's process and everybody's understanding to make sure that it meets specification, that it meets, and in the end, it was delivered the following week on Tuesday to the customer, 24 hours or so before it was dropped dead, not going to work. And everybody was happy. We all high-fived. In the meantime, I'm going, "Oh my gosh."
I know the pressure on the program manager. I know.
Early Saturday morning, what's the status? Saturday afternoon, what's the status? Saturday night, what's the status? Sunday night, but everyone responded well. The team worked together, and we made it happen. It was a great success. But those situations, I think, are going to be happening more and more as we go forward.
Yeah, and I think having a real-time system can also be useful, where you can see how things are happening. So picking the phone, you can see things happening. You have a correct update at the time. So, I told you about this vXDCC or some. If you like to know, and if other people like to know how the tracking and resource management and supply chain management and everything, project program portfolio management can be done in real time. So anyway, let's talk more. Yes. I have more questions for you.
Bring it.
All right. So how effectively does organization goal setting motivate employees? Does the upskilling need to be mandatory for an organization's stability and growth?
Well, another good one, Dharam. So I think getting that clear mission, vision, strategy established for an organization, I think it's really important, and I think it does help employees. And it does that in several ways. I think one, it helps them know and understand on a personal level how what they're doing, regardless of whether they're a team member, team leader, project manager, portfolio manager, it helps them understand how their personal space, their responsibility fits into that organizational goal and where they're going. I also think it helps professionally, because knowing what I'm doing, knowing where the organization is going, I can see where I'm at, how I fit in, and I can see where I can be, where I need to go, where I want to go in the future. And it kind of ties back to what we talked about earlier about employee growth being important. A lot of companies now are looking internally. How do we grow and mentor our people to stay with us? Way back in the dark ages of the 50s and 60s, employees stayed with a given company for an entire career. In the late 80s and 90s, and even the 2000s, we've had a higher turnover. And I think as an organization, companies suffer from that a little bit because you have the experience and expertise that walked out the door, And now you got to bring someone in new who doesn't know the company, who doesn't know the background, good and bad. And now you've got to make them our way. And so you have a drop in productivity as you make that transition. And I think having that clear goal, the clear strategy communicated to employees, communicated to the team, helps everyone understand where we're going, what we want to do. I want to be a part of this team. And we're seeing that in some of the studies that are coming out, that employees want to be part of a company. They want to be part of the culture. They want to be part of the solution. And I think upskilling is an important part of that. Me going from PMP to PgMP, looking at PfMP, those are important contributions. But it's also, one is getting that breadth. Engineers becoming better engineers, computer programmers becoming better computer programmers, accountants, etc. But I think there's also value in learning the skills to your right and your left. As project managers, are you supporting your company doing proposals and business cases? Have you thought about getting, proposal management certification or something? Because that's an important part. It's a business case, but a lot of companies phrase their business cases to a customer as a proposal, request for quotes, request for proposals. And I think knowing how to do that and gaining not just depth, but also breadth makes everyone better across the board. Is it mandatory? No, I don't think so, but I think it's helpful, and the folks that do that should be rewarded.
Exactly. As you mentioned, it's not just mandatory. It's, is it going to add value? Of course, you have to see that. And there are two types of thinking. If I train my staff, they will leave the company. And the second thing is, if I don't train my staff, I have to live with, with unskilled staff.
Right.
You need to see the cost benefit analysis on that.
Right. I think every company has their own evaluation criteria. Sometimes that criteria consists of one person in a room. Sometimes it's a team of people.
Yes.
But I think a lot of companies now are recognizing the need for that growth. And I'm seeing more and more where companies offer some kind of education, tuition assistance, or professional development, reimbursement kinds of things. Every company is different. Every company has their own limits, their own challenges of what they can and can't do. But I see that happening a lot, where companies are wanting to help their employees grow because they see the value add to a company.
Oh, yeah. And look, even if a company is not supporting you, you have to think about, personal growth and how can I upskill myself and be more employable, be more ready for the next job. Especially in the current market, when you mentioned a couple of names earlier, Facebook and Google, Microsoft, Amazon, and there's so many names that you can think about. And everybody is one way or other, they're trying to reshape their organization by cutting 1,000, 10,000 people, just like that. And wake up in the morning, you see the email from the boss at 3 o'clock in the morning. Hey, my job is not there anymore. So kind of, before you wake up, you have already stressed. But tell you one thing, and it happened to me once, long time back. But I was more ready, actually. It happened to me second time in the same organization. After second time, I survived the first time. But by the time they called me again in March, I was ready with my resume. I was ready with my upskills myself, and also already connection with my all the recruitment companies. So I said, okay, bring it on. This is my perfect time. So be ready for any such situation. Economic crisis is going on, and companies are reshaping themselves, organizational structure. You need to make yourself more ready for any of these uncertainties. That's the message I have for you. Whether you do PMP or PgMP or PfMP or any of the certificate, technical skills, or maybe security skills or cloud skills or whatever, there are so many skills you can upskill yourself. Go for that.
Absolutely, I agree. And there's a thought in there, but it escaped me, so I'm gonna stop.
No worries, no worries. Okay, my next question for you. Okay. Are program manager ready to accept challenges and offer solution to address emerging realities in the VUCA world?
So I had to look that one up.
Do you know what is VUCA?
It's like VUCA, right? Volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. But I was like, I know that, but I wanted to make sure, for today that I was at least cognizant. And I think, this is a lot of what we've talked about, kind of the recurring theme. There's a lot of uncertainty in the world. The market is up one day and it plummets the next day. Companies closing their door, new companies starting up. The international global economy, ages ago, dark ages ago, one country having economic problems didn't necessarily affect other countries. Maybe it affected one or two of their neighbors, but today that's not the case. We see like the situation in Ukraine and Russia. Just the economic impacts across the globe, in terms of oil prices, in terms of just markets and materials availability. There are things that those two countries provide that are no longer available, and we have to go find other sources. Where do we go? Well, we go to, Chile, we go to Mexico, we go to Italy, we go to China. And it's a different quality, it's a different composition, it's a different price, and it's a different lead time. It's, whether you agree or disagree with a country's politics, perhaps. I mean, all of that is so convoluted and complex, and it's trying to navigate that. And I think program managers have the skills to help work through that. We talked about a lot of the different tools, the trend analysis, the strategic analyses. Where are we going? What are we trying to do? Putting business cases together. And I think we have, as an industry, I think program managers have the skill set to deal with that.
Yeah.
I would caution that, or temper that, I guess, with the comment that it's up to the individual to be able to understand that. And that kind of ties back to what we talked about with upskilling and the personal professional growth. If you're not looking and thinking about those things as a program manager, you need to, because whether it's impacting you today or not, it will impact us in the future. And it's only going to, the whole volatility, uncertainty, that is only going to increase for a period for the next few years. Will it go 20 years? I doubt it, but it's probably going to be with us for the next 5 years or so. And so my personal thought is that if you're not thinking about that and trying to understand what's happening, you need to. I have my daily news feed is, I get like 10 different emails from different groups. Because I spent time in the Air Force, I was very, very heavy in the air and space news feeds. I get 2 or 3 emails a day on different things that are happening in that industry. And I think either about the time frame that you and I started working together, Dharam, or maybe a little before, I was like, I need to start understanding a little bit more about what's going. So now I get another 2 or 3 emails a day about what's happening in other sectors and other parts of the economy. And I'll spend, 30 minutes to an hour just reading through, trying to understand. Maybe a lot of times I just look at the headlines. I've been around a while. I kind of can read the headline and go, okay, not something I need to worry about. But there are times I'm like, I need to understand more about that. And I think that's up to us to work that as an individual. And I think the other part of that question is, while we as program managers have the skill set, have the ability, capability to do that, I think a lot of it is you've got to be able to communicate that with your stakeholders, communicate that with your corporate leadership. How you do that, are they willing to hear what you have to say? That's all going to be dependent on the individuals and the respective organization, but I think that's the other part of it as well.
Yeah, great. Thank you very much. Just a note for the people watching, I have shared the PDU code on the chat. Please take a note, you can take a screenshot or copy paste, and you should be able to claim 1 PDU for your PMP, PgMP, or whatever you have certificate for. Okay. All right, if you don't see that, let me know. And as I said, if you're watching this video and you reach up to this point, definitely, reach out to me and ask me for the PDU code. All right. Okay, if you don't see that, let me know. Put that on the question pad. Dharam, I don't see that message on the chat. Anyway, thank you. And my next question, hopefully last question. How can yes, I know. How can a program manager improve business viability through effective benefit management inside and outside of the company?
That was one of the key things, I think, for PgMP, and it's at the heart of that certification, is delivering benefits. It is one of the core areas of a PgMP certification, benefits management. Are you delivering the desired benefits? Have you quantified them? How are you on track with them? So I think that's, obviously an important part. And I think, the type of program is another factor. Are you delivering something to a customer that yes, I'm delivering a thing, right? I'm delivering a widget. I'm delivering a bracket. I'm delivering a spacecraft with, engines and propulsion systems and solar arrays and electronics and all this stuff. I'm delivering a product, but I'm also delivering value and profit inside to my company, because we're going to get paid for this. What's the benefit? Well, the benefit is that we're getting paid. It's kind of a simple, and it doesn't seem, it's a tangible. I can point to that dollar line at the bottom and say, there's my profit. But it's also the goodness of the work and enjoying what you do. A lot of times, and then the other big category of programs, right, are the things that we do internally. When PMI, a lot of their discussion talks about value and benefits delivery to stakeholders. A lot of it is focused, I think, internally. We're going to deliver a new software interface for insurance, and it's going to help the company do our business internal better, which is going to make our customers happy. Well, it's an internal benefit. There's a little bit of customer happiness that comes out of that. It's a little bit intangible, I think more intangible. And I think that's where PMI sees a lot of program management is focused internally. But I think there's a larger amount of, at least the folks I've talked to, a lot more program management happens with an external customer delivering a thing, whether it be a software package or a piece of hardware or analysis or whatever, or maybe it's even a service. One of my former jobs, we operated satellites. That was the benefit. We operated the satellites so the customer didn't have to. And oh, by the way, we got money inside. So, I think they both help a business develop and improve. And I think it also helps increase the overall value for the stockholders and owners of the company. It improves the financial situation and what's going on, cash flow, all of that. And I think that's the real key to what program managers contribute to the business viability, is just bringing all of that together in a manner that's effective.
Yeah, great. Thank you. Actually, previously when we talk about project is more about delivery. But the introduction of the concept of program management, thanks to PMI, I think there was some organization with the program management, but now this is becoming widely accepted concept of program management. Program management is all about benefit delivery, making sure whatever product or service is delivered by the project is actually beneficial to the benefits are realized by the beneficiaries. If that does not happen, maybe you did a great job, but the money, that may be wasted. Very important for you as a program manager to ensure the delivery or whatever is there, maybe new PMI system, maybe some product or services, is accepted and utilized by the beneficiaries as it should be. Then your job is done. Then only your job is done. Not just say, okay, I implement new PMI system, I got a new model created on this. Okay, what about the benefit from that? So that's one thing the program manager has to keep in their mind. Benefit. How can I ensure my beneficiaries or the users will benefit from this service? That's what one thing I keep in my mind as you come to me as taking my PgMP program, PfM program. Certification is important, that's given to you. But what do you learn from the whole process? Whether you getting benefiting from this as a person after PgMP, and your organization benefiting from that. So that's where you have to think long term and the bigger picture as the program manager.
Agreed.
Yeah. So thank you very much, Tom. It was great discussion, great responses, and I can see lots of people are already saying thank you to you and for this group for the program we created. I'm really honored to have you here, and it was pleasure talking to you. Definitely.
Yeah, it's been a joy. I enjoyed our sessions, late nights in the upstairs bedroom, trying to work through things, and corner chair and everything, and it really helped me understand and work through everything, Dharam, and I appreciate it, and appreciate the opportunity to talk with you and the others, and look forward to more in the future.
Exactly. And the guys watching here, you just like Tom, I had several, maybe hundreds of professional, the leaders already came to these webinars. So if you have not watched those webinars, please go to my YouTube channel. You will learn from each of the discussion I had with so many professionals. So if you do not have the YouTube channel, the link to that, let me know. I will get you. I'll send you the link. I have actually second channel I have where I have podcasts. I'm doing podcast after podcast. Every month I have 2-3 podcasts happening with other industry leaders like Thomas Valente and Reinhard and Justin and many other people. And we take topic and just talk. We don't go with the script. And it's not scripted programs. It's more about what you think. And you say something, I say something, and keep talking. Many people are enjoying that. So I hope you can continue to learn from them. I think I have collectively around 250 videos are there, and all free for you to learn from. And I hope you continue to learn. And also, if you have any interest in doing PgMP PfMP, you can contact me. You can book my time. Definitely book my time. And or if you are just in the early stage, you say, okay, let me know more. So I have already shared 3 links with you. One with the PgMP link video, 1.5-hour video, where you will see me differently by my when I was old days. And and other one PfMP. And the third one is a series of webinar I'm starting from 9th of June, talking about PgMP, PfMP, and question, discussion. And I will take the questions coming directly from you. So please, join those sessions and send me your question in advance. I will take those questions around PgMP, PfMP, and ensure that you have all the required knowledge before you even think about PgMP. And I will tell you how to pass the exam. It's like Tom got it and many other people in the shortest possible time. And not only passing the exam, what you have to do to become a better programmer. All right. So thank you, all of you today. And I know some of you are joining middle of night or early morning or middle of a job you're doing. And this is your passion to learn. And my job is to bring people and the right professional here. And your job is to keep learning from them. So with this, I'd like to conclude and thank you, all of you. And thank you, Tom, for your time and sharing the knowledge, which is generally not available in the forum. So it was great. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Dharam. Thank you, everybody.
Take care, guys, and see you again. I think there's another webinar coming with somewhere in middle of June with another professional. So keep an eye on the announcement. All right, take care, and I will see you again. Bye.